Hey, what's going on, Jeromes? It is Thursday. It is noon. That means we are here for another Q&A session, a little talking about the Vikings free agency, NFL draft, as well as food, quarantine food. Is that you, Rona? Yeah. So sorry that we're a couple minutes late finishing a video on Jalen Johnson, the cornerback out of Utah. Physical. No, he's not a physical freak, but he's a very physical cornerback. I like him a lot. So check that out as well. And we're here. Sorry, we also had to restart the live stream because so YouTube for like the past couple hours has been sort of wonky. Maybe it's system overload. Maybe the Rona finally infected YouTube. I don't really know. So we'll see. But again, thank you very much for coming along. Thank you very much for making these a lot of fun. And maybe we'll make this a regular part once quarantine is over because it seems to get pretty good live ratings as well as on demand later on as well. So if you're checking us out later on, awesome, Mazel Tov. If you're here live, thank you for making us part of your day. Let up the live chat as well as let us know where you're watching from. Like doing a couple of shout outs throughout the show as well. So we'll do that up. So first off, I'm going to dive into a little bit of Q&A, a little bit of BSing and whatnot. Max Alaric, who is the Vikings, who is the best Vikings receiver right now other than Adam Thielen, BC Johnson, or Tajay Sharp? How would the receiving core rank in the NFL without the addition of any new receivers? I think it would be relatively low. I mean, Thielen does add a little something to the mix. I think he still is a top 15 receiver. I would put Tajay slightly above BC just because of experience. I mean, BC, greatly overachieved last year as a 7th round pick, and I think his future is very bright. I think his ceiling is probably higher than Tajay Sharp's, but I think Tajay is just a phenomenal pickup for this stage of free agency, as well as the guy who sort of lost his spot in Tennessee due to injury. But overall, probably be like 26. I mean, there are some teams who just flat out don't have any receivers at all. But also, I mean, you do have to factor in Dalvin is a phenomenal receiver, a big part of the passing game, as well as Kyle Rudolph, as well as Irv Smith is basically a wide receiver for all intents and purposes. So yeah, I think you have to factor that in. Next up, JD Mack. Until you're back here, baby. Yeah, Nick Ascend, if you're watching, great reference. Do that. Also, if you want to get a comment question in the live chat, send in a super chat. A couple bucks will get you in. Also, if you want to support the channel, hit that join box down below. Find out how you can become a monthly or platinum. Jerome just had a bunch of new signups the other day. A couple bucks a month, supporting Rebel Media throughout this very interesting time. And also, so going off on a tangent. So you're seeing now, like, since everyone's in quarantine, all of a sudden you're seeing all these national media people, whether it's TV, radio, whatever, all of a sudden, they're in their home. They're recording on these bootleg cameras, recording on bootleg audio equipment. What is it? Like the Rona has basically turned like these big time TV figures into YouTubers and podcasters. And yeah, that just goes to show you, like, the barrier to entry, it's pretty damn low. And the cream will rise because at the end of the day, hashtag content is king. So we're coming for you. Yeah, we're coming for you, TV. Even though I like this. Man, I love just sitting here chilling. You guys don't even know if I have pants on. It's great. We're just recording live, seat of our pants. Awesome. All right. Let's see. What's next? Trey Sculling, Skull from Missouri. Shout out to Mizzou. Show me state. JD Mack, your thoughts on Julian Kawara out of Notre Dame? He's one of the edge rushers no one's talking about. So his brother, I want to say his brother plays on the Lions, I want to say, but he's a defensive end. Not overly productive. I think there's a lot of potential there, though. Needs to add a lot of weight. Actually, he kind of strikes me, not a perfect comparison, but Aude Aruna. Now, Aude Aruna was way different because he was like 29 years old, like a 7th year senior from Tulane, if you guys remember him from back in the day. But just in terms of a guy that you're going to get late, that you're going to put some time into, potentially could turn into something. And we've seen this with the Vikings where, late round, even UDFA edge guys, give them to Andre Patterson. I mean, sometimes it works out awesome. You look at Daniil Hunter would even count too. So Daniil, Afadi, Steve Weatherly, I think was a big success, or sometimes it doesn't. You look at Aude Aruna, you look at Tayshaun Bauer. I mean, that was more of a middling example, but man. Next up, Blair Walsh Project. Your thoughts on Tony Pride out of Notre Dame? Could be a mid to late round steal. Again, another Notre Dame dude. I like him. Would have liked to see a little bit more production out of him, but in terms of a great cornerback class, I think that he certainly is in the middle. Say if he goes probably like late fourth, that's probably the area he should go. But there's a lot of other sexier names that I really like in the mid rounds over Troy Pride. Next up, Oakview. Andy, is there any way after preseason ends you can make a video on every player we lost and every player we gained and how they have improved or made our team worse by leaving? Yeah, we could do that. Also, Oakview. You should do a live stream where you watch every single 96 questions episode, look back on all the players we lost just for fun. Yeah, I would do that, except YouTube might kick us off because they're very strict about showing video from other YouTube videos or other copyright holders. You can get kicked off a live stream pretty easy, or you get your account dinged up. And since we've had the strikes due to hate speech, I'm gonna try and stay on the good side of things. Yeah. Noodle 130. Noodle 130. Yeah, see the check mark. He is a monthly Jerome member for 2 months. Old school. Love you, Noodle 130. Find out how you can join up. Hit that join button down below in the description. How far do you see the Vikings going this year? Wildcard division, missed playoffs, etc. Also, any good shows to watch in quarantine? 11-5, staying alive, win North, get it done, fall, NFC title game. Any good shows to watch in quarantine. So, what's the show about the tiger dude on Netflix? Everyone's like creaming their pants over that. So maybe we'll watch that. We've been watching a lot of Top Chef reruns. Just there's seasons that we've watched like 3 or 4 times, but it's just like whatever. Yeah. See what else here. Oh, the daughter really likes The Masked Singer for some reason, but she's she's 4, so she just loves the costumes and the singing and all that stuff. Stuff that I've been watching. Started watching Salvation on CBS All Access. It's an interesting premise. Got canceled after 2 seasons. I'm really good at picking shows that just get canceled. Also, if you're gonna binge a show, like I like binging a show, so I'll actually pick a show that's been off the air for a while. So because it has a self-contained story or whatever. Like I mean, no one watches in serial form anymore, right? Like just waiting for every single episode to come out. But Better Call Saul is great. Watching The Crown, where I always love like historical period pieces, especially if it's butting up against some sort of military moment in history. I really like those. See what else am I watching? Lots of stuff. Oh, Ozark season 3 comes out tomorrow. Ooh, baby, let's go. All right, next up, the JDM 28. Where would we be right now if we still had Keenum and never signed Cousins? Super Bowl homeboy? Nah. Well, I think Keenum certainly would have peaked in 2017, but also, I mean, there was just a swagger that the people loved. Like Case Keenum was this very easygoing, very likable leader. I think the Vikings would still have Diggs. Diggs loved Case Keenum. But could Keenum have replicated his success with Shermer, with Stefanski? Maybe. I think this would have been a spot too if Shermer flamed out with the Giants. I think that the Vikings would have brought him back, depending on if Kubiak was here, because he and Keenum seem to have such a good meshing. I think as a team-wise, probably would have been similar results. Probably would have made the playoffs a couple of years. Probably would have won a playoff game again. Yeah. Joe was I missed the music in the intro after listening that over 1,000 times. It irritates me that it's silent now. I love the work you put. Is it silent? This is all the sausage is made, by the way. No, the music is still there. Oh, or is he talking about on the live streams where we just start? And maybe that's it. Yeah. By the way, I use Adobe Audition. Or excuse me, Adobe Premiere. We use Adobe Audition for the audio. Davis Warrow. Whatever happened to Charles Johnson? I remember he was up and coming wide receiver. Yeah, everyone talks about the legacy of Teddy Bridgewater, but everyone forgets that he was the most pressured quarterback in franchise history, as well as, hey, here's Charles Johnson. He's going to be your wide receiver 1. Hey, here's the corpse of Greg Jennings and also Mike Wallace. They're going to be your wide receiver 2s and 3s. And also, Matt Khalil's going to be your left tackles, as well as TJ Clemmings. So get the fudge out of here. All right, so, yeah, Charles Johnson, People forget he came in as a 7th-round pick by the Packers. So, no. Ended up with he hooked up with Norv and Scotty doesn't know, Scotty Turner in Cleveland. Eventually, he came to the Vikings and was actually pretty solid in terms of a guy who put up a career 109 catches, 834 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, in spurts, he looked competent, especially he overachieved for a 7th-round pick. Spent some time with the Panthers, followed the Turners there yet again. Then, it looks like the Jets 2018. I think he was in the AAF or XFL. Pretty sure it was the AAF. Yeah. Here. Curtis Grant, monthly Jerome in the chat. Peaky Blinders is good. I tried watching it once. I'm going to give it another shot again because everyone does seem to like it. But, the first time, you ever just have a series that you know is good, but you just can't get into it? No, that was me. Peaky Blinders. But I'm sure I'll get into it because I like historical pieces. I like Tom Hardy. Really like Cillian Murphy as well. So, yeah. White Wolf, I'm praying to the programmer of the simulation that whenever we do draft our quarterback of the future, it's not some Wonder Bread statue Kirky 2.0 clone. Oh, so Jacob Fromm, you guys don't want Jake Fromm? You don't want that? You don't want any of that smoke? Try to get Watson Mahomes type one time. Yeah, see, that's why when the Vikings, it did seem like they're in the quarterback market. The Cousins extension sort of put the kibosh on it. That's why I love Jordan Love, because he is a gunslinger. He has all the physical tools. And just in terms of a guy that's got a lot of massive upside. Now, I'm not an arm strength snob by any means, but there is just something exciting about a dude that does not give a fudge. Kyle Rippentrop. If the Vikings don't come away with one of the Power 6 offensive tackles, who's the next best option? Best cut of... all right, so we'll answer these one by one. I would say... You could put Ezra Cleveland or Lucas Niang from TCU. You could sort of put them in there, but I think the Vikings, could come away with one of the Power 6 tackles. Ezra Cleveland, I think, more projects to be a guard in the league, although I think his tackle prowess is a little bit underrated. Best cut of pork, chop, or roast. Best cut of pork for me, I like the belly. Yeah. Belly or... I like loin back ribs over like St. Louis or baby back ribs. Just loin back because they're a little bit meatier. They're a little bit more forgiving on the grill as well. And if you do like Memphis dry ribs where you don't have the tinfoil wrap, not the 3-2-1 method, which I actually prefer because I'm kind of lazy, as well as the soft baby food sticky sweet ribs. That's not really my bag. I like pull off the bone rather than fall off the bone ribs. So Memphis ribs, you just season them with the dry rub, and you just put them bone side down on the smoker, and then they sit there for like 3.5, 4 hours. That's really it. So no muss, no fuss there. So and Memphis ribs are generally the loin back ribs because they have more meat, because they are more forgiving, etc. Best cut of beef, steak and roast. So for me, I know that everyone creams their jeans about filet. That's the second time we've used that reference over filet, but I think it's fine. It's a little bit. It's so tender. That's because it's baby foodish. I like a ribeye. I like a strip steak. I like skirt steak. If you're gonna go like super value, like a skirt steak, and you just like char it on the charcoals, and then cut against the grain, just really nice. Some grilled onions, a little bit of lime, make some tacos of them. They're great. The brisket. For me, the brisket really is like the Rolls Royce. It's like the big fatty shoulder muscle, and then you got the flat. The point part of the brisket for me is the best. That really is just like the ribeye part of the brisket, and it's just fatty and delicious, and you get burnt ends off of it. It's really good. Thank you so much for making these. Thank you for watching, man. Thank you for everyone in the live chat. Thank you for everyone watching. Been averaging a couple hundred people on the live stream. It's a lot of fun. Then people catching up, about 3,000, 4,000 views. It's great. It's overall just a lot of fun. Hopefully it's something we can keep doing and growing and showing. Preacher Paul, the trucker. I know everyone is in lockdown, but at least everyone is in their homes. I'm stuck in a 7x10 trunk every day. Good understanding of what drivers experience. As for me, I like a good corn hot dish with buffalo meat. I'll have to try it. I really like buffalo or buffalo/bison meat. It's really nice. Even though a lot of the bison that you get is farmed, I mean, I don't think you can legally go out and just shoot your own bison, but it has the game taste, even though it's farm raised, and a lot of the times it's a lot of all the bison I found is grass fed, but I'm sure there's a bunch of corn fed out there too. But overall, it's just a really nice beat, a little bit on the leaner side, but overall it's good. David Pearson. Penny Sewell, offensive line from Oregon, would be a great addition next year. High motor, high caliber guy. I do not know this man. We'll have to put in some work on him. Shepherd's pie has been a favorite of our family, plus it helps with the leftovers. Yeah, I actually just made a quasi shepherd's pie the other day. So we had some leftover mashed potatoes because we just randomly did a Thanksgiving dinner and packaged some up and gave a couple meals to our friends and family out there. But all right, so it was mashed potatoes on top. Yeah, what was below? It was like Italian sausage and peas and spinach sauteed up, and carrots, and it was really good. And like leftover turkey gravy, because why not? Trey Stallings, what do you think of Jalen Reagor? I like him. If you're looking for like a straight up Diggs replacement, I think Reagor could be the guy. He's like 5'10", 5'11"-ish, a little bit on the smaller side, but just in terms of a guy that is a threat to break it every single time. And TCU, you think TCU would win more games? I mean, they have so much talent coming out because they got Reagor, they got Gladney, the cornerback, they got Niang, the offensive lineman. Like, you think that they got Blacklock, the D lineman. You think they'd be better? But also food for thought. In terms of college football programs that produce insanely good NFL prospects versus their college success, which school has the biggest gap? So which school cranks out pro players but doesn't necessarily have great college results? I would say Pitt. All right, so we're gonna do this. Wiki Pitt football alumni. There we go. This is an impressive list. I can't just do football. This is stupid. Pitt's Panthers football. There we go. Entire numbers. No. All right. So Pro Football Hall of Famers: Jimbo Cover, Ditka, Chris Dolman, R.I.P., former Viking great Tony Dorsett, Russ Grimm, who was a great offensive line coach for a number of years, Pretty Ricky Jackson, who was a great edge rusher for the Saints for a number of years. Actually, I think, all right, PFR, all-time sack. I think Ricky Jackson is the first name on the all-time sack list that like the casual fan is going to be like, who? So Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Kevin Green, Julius Peppers, Chris Dolman, R.I.P., Strahan, Jason Taylor, Terrell Suggs, DeMarcus Ware, Richard Randall. The fact that John Randall is tied for 10th as a D tackle speaks to his amazingness. Even though, yes, I know they moved around a little bit. They played a little bit at the end. But yeah, Ricky Jackson, 16. I guess Leslie O'Neal, like one of the first couple names that will be like, who? Yeah, Ricky Jackson, Hall of Famer. There you go. Dan Marino, Curtis Martin, Joe Schmidt. Channel 5 Joe Schmidt. Is that him? Sure it is. But also look at this. Larry Fitz, Reuben Brown, a great offensive line for a number of years. Revis, Aaron Donald, Shady. Come on. Mark Stepnoski was a great center for the Cowboys during the Super Bowl run. I mean, Jeff Christie, great center for the Vikes for a number of years. Hell, I mean, Pitt might be Vikings U. Or, yeah. Let's see here. Hugh Green. James Conner, doing things with the Steelers now. Sean Gilbert, former great D tackle. Also, was he in the running to be NFLPA president a couple years ago? I think that was him. Yeah. Craig Ironhead Hayward. I mean, come on. Also, Marty Schottenheimer. Forget that Marty Schottenheimer played for the Bills back in the day. I mean, just in terms of teams that didn't have an over ton of college success but crank out NFL players. So, I forgot Flacco. Flacco started at Pitt, and then he transferred to Delaware, right? Yeah, that must be it. TJ Clemmings, of course. Brian O'Neill. Yeah, Pitt really is Vikings U. How did this all start? Shepherd's pie, I guess. Nah. Preacher Paul, Trucker Preacher Paul. Thanks for the laughs, Andy. Keep it coming. Captain Holler, kind of funny. I like it. Like you, man. Thank you very much for keeping us stocked and supplied and whatnot. Actually, yeah. How did we get on the Pitt tangent? I don't know. But whatever. Next up, Salvador Estrada. Mr. Estrada here, representing from dirty old Wisconsin. Yeah, it's not your fault that you live in a dirty communist state. You know. I hope you and your family are safe. Who's your biggest draft sleeper? I don't mean Bryce Hall or Tyler Johnson. I mean a real sleeper. Yeah, we're gonna do a full wrap on him, but the gosh, now the name escapes me. I was just raving about him the other day. Yeah, Levante Bellamy. There you go. Running back from Western Michigan. Ran for like 1,400 yards last year. Was one of the best zone scheme running backs in college football last season. I think that he's going to be a 7th rounder or priority UDFA of the Vikings. And I think he's going to be the next Kubiak/Shanahan 1,000-yard rusher. So mark my words. Remember the name, unlike me just right now who had a brain fart. Levante Bellamy, Western Michigan. Run the boat. Yeah. Jason Stilinski. Also Mason Fine from north of Texas. Yeah. Jason Stilinski, during your time of quarantine, I've had a lot of time to think about. I've had a lot of time to learn to cook. Do you have any suggestions on what to make in the morning for breakfast? Well, see here. Eggs. Love eggs. For me, just like a couple of over easy eggs where the yolk is still runny, you're good to go. Get a couple pieces of toast. And then here's what I like to do. So we like getting the fully cooked sausage patties. It could be pork, it could be turkey, it could be chicken, whatever. And then you just microwave them. I mean, they're good to go because I don't like putzing with like raw sausages. Like the Jimmy Dean links, and you gotta fry them. Then like everything gets smoky and all the grease splatters all over the place. I don't like that. So do that. Or also what we do is we'll just take a couple of sheet pans. And we'll actually bake our bacon in batches, and then just have it in the fridge, and then just heat it up as you need. So for me, I'm pretty basic. Eggs, meat, a little bit of toast for some crunch, or hash browns, like super crunchy hash browns. Let's go. Also, everyone should basic cooking skills. Everyone should be able to make an over easy egg. Everyone should be able to make a hard boiled egg, a poached egg, and also scrambled eggs. And also, I know people like scrambled eggs where it's like super soft and almost like raw and like creamy and stuff. Now I like it like a hard scrambled egg where people would put the scrambled eggs like they almost have to stir it like a risotto like every single time. Oh. Then put a little creme fraiche or sour cream on top, which is fine. It's okay. I like it. But for me, I like cooking. So get that pan ripping hot, just like completely ready to rock and roll, babe. And then quickly put some butter in. Now you have to have everything ready to go, otherwise that butter's gonna burn. It's gonna turn brown. Your eggs are gonna turn brown. You don't want no brown butter. So have your eggs, cracked, stirred up, a little bit of salt and pepper in there, a little bit of herbs if you like to. Chives worked really well, or shallots. So put that in with the scrambled eggs in a separate bowl. So ripping hot pan, have a rubber spatula, and you have a little bit of butter on said rubber spatula. Get that butter in, melt it right away. Eggs in right away, and then constantly stir from the outside to the inside. Just try and push because the outside is going to cook first. So just keep pushing all of that cooked egg on the inside. Then you can tip the pan a little bit so the runny egg will go back and circulate to the outside. And then just keep doing that over and over and over. Whole process should take maybe 20 seconds, 25 seconds. That's what she said. But yeah, that's how I've always done scrambled eggs. What was the question? Oh, breakfast. Trevor Locke, favorite healthy snack. Love the show. Keep it up, man. Let's see, healthy snack. I really like avocados. So just like fresh fruit in general. So the daughter really likes fruit. She likes grapes and pears and those cutie little mandarin oranges. They're great. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll just get a bunch of fruit. Oh, she loves fresh mango. Mango is great, except it's a pain in the ass to cut up, man. Like, I feel like a prep bitch all the time, just cutting up mangoes for my kid. But I'll just make a fruit salad. So stuff you can do in advance. So you have the grapes, you have them rinsed, you can have whatever berries you want. Mango holds up well, melon, whatever. And then so have that as a base, and then just cut up an apple or a pear, the fruit that's going to oxidize really quick. So just cut that up at the last second, then add it. It's just really good. It's just something that you don't feel guilty about giving your kid lots of. Just because, there is sugar in the fruit, but it's naturally occurring. It's not artificial, as well as the fiber is there to help with the, I don't know, bro science, bro. Yeah, it's better than candy. That's all. Eric. Other than that, or just like, just take a meat and a piece of cheese. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, just win the day, babe. Eric Hansen. Reminder, you have a ramen noodle rant to finish. Watching Tuesday noon stream as I type this. Oh yeah. All right. So for those of you who didn't watch the other day, because this happened right on Wednesday as Zettel signed. So maybe some more news will break. So if you remember ramen from back in the day, like if you were in college or poor and or both. So Oriental flavor, and it was great. It was like tangy. It was good. It had like soy sauce notes, and there's like some ginger in there, maybe a little ponzu. It was good. It was really, really good. But now they changed the name to soy sauce flavor, even though it's not soy sauce flavored. Like if you tasted Oriental ramen noodles back in the day, it was not soy sauce. But it wasn't an Asian who complained about this. It was some suburbanite Karen who just wrote in to Maruchan in probably in like Wu-Tang province, whatever. I was like, hey, that's offensive to all of the Asian people that I know. I'm just kidding. I don't know any Asian people because I live in Wayzata. Get out of here. All right, so that's the coda on the ramen noodle rant. Next up, Long Pole Skull. Also, since we got some people in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. We'll give a couple of shout outs there. Forgot to do that earlier. Sorry. Do you think a year off would do Xavier Rhodes some good? I look at him. I look at Dan Bailey when we first got him. Yada, yada, yada. I think kicking is way different than cornerback, where, yes, both are definitely mental positions, but quarterbacks, obviously is much more physical. I think Rhodes has been hurt a lot more than we've known. Even like we've seen the limp offs every single game, but that was the knock on Xavier. If you remember him coming in out of Florida State 2013, is that he would get dinged up, have these soft tissue injuries all over the place, and it was just bad. I think that actually did catch up with him. So to a degree, I feel bad for Rhodes because a lot of his caliber of play was he just wouldn't take himself off the field. And that's why he had all those limp offs. That's because he was so banged up. And I don't think that body would necessarily heal in a year, as well as that psyche. I think that's permanently damaged as well. All right, couple shout outs. Chad Myron Skull from Wyoming. Shout out to the mountains and plains and stuff. Sure. Nate Baumeister Champlin. H2O Water, Winnipeg. Shout out to who's from Sid, the 100% cheese free, the Vikings logo dude. He's from Winnipeg, I believe. David James, Southern Cali. Shout out SoCal. Robert Griffin, Alexandria. Now, Alexandria, Minnesota, or Alexandria, Virginia, or one of the other 17,000 Alexandrias. Vince Van Hatten, Plymouth. Yeah, powerful Plymouth. Plymouth. Plymouth is nice because you get all the amenities of Maple Grove, and also housing prices is a little bit cheaper. It's kind of great. Craig Peterson, Burke, South Dakota. See here, Matt Sturbate, Monthly Jerome from Blaine. Of course, Northern Burbs kids. The Netherlands, Evo, shout out there. Skinny Ivory, St. Paul for show. Let's see, West Dover, Vermont. Yeah. T-Rag, Baton Rouge. Enchanté. Mario Carmona, Oakdale. Pride of Oakdale. What's going on? Let's see here. David Stock, Skull from St. Cloud, Zach Fridley. Love it. Love it, you guys. Thank you very much for coming along and making this part of your day. It's always a lot of fun. Nice little breakup in the monotony of whatever the hell this is. Eric Hansen, there's been a lot of negative things caused by COVID-19, but I looked on the bright side. Was one positive. PSLRA idea for NBA March Madness. What is the bright side? What's the bright side of this global pandemic that has killed thousands of people? I guess it's almost a cliche, but I don't like when people say puts things in perspective, because I think it's overused. I think it's a little effed up. But sometimes events like this, where it's out of your control, and it does make people think about what they're grateful for. I mean, what really does matter in life, because I mean, we're gonna be hurting for a while. I mean, both the virus as well as the economy. It doesn't matter how many $1,200 checks they send out. Said it wasn't going to make this a political show. But, I mean, people not having jobs, people not having purpose, people not having those things. I mean, sometimes we do get caught up in all the bullshit that we think is important in life. You know, we think about social media. It's like, oh, we got to get the likes. Oh, this and that. Oh, the other things. And I get that. It's also ironic coming from a dude that's live streaming a football show, but basically a food show. But what's important? You know, family, serving, helping others. So I've actually thought about that a lot. And, you know, sometimes you do get out of touch. Sometimes you do get caught up in your job or business or this or that. But just being able to serve your fellow humans, and, you know, just try and have some sort of positive impact on the world. I mean, that's why we've really, as weird as it sounds, that's why we've really been cranking out the content during this quarantine stuff. A, because I'm bored. Also, B, because I know that a lot of people, you know, big Vikings fans, big football fans, like sometimes you just need a break, you know, and watching the news and gloom and doom, watching your 401k just like shrivel up. Sometimes you just do need that break. And that's why sports are important. And that's why we've been trying to do as much content as possible, because I know that, again, it's my honor to be able to do this for you guys. And I know that people watching, sometimes they just need, you know, half hour to escape the world for a little bit. You know, maybe they lost their job. Maybe they got furloughed. Maybe potentially, you know, bills piling up. Maybe they'll lose their house. I mean, it could be some pretty bad times ahead. But just if bring a little bit of joy to someone's day, a little bit of smile, we like doing that. So, again, thank you for letting us do that for you guys. So here, Pulford Skull. Have you ever made Bison Chili? Delicious. Skull. A shout out from Nashville, Tennessee. Shout out down to Nashville. Love your hot chicken. Also, Nashville. I know that Memphis gets a reputation for being the ribs capital of the world, but also Nashville, right behind. Just love it. So, yeah, Bison Chili. See, we've basically made chili with lots of kinds of meat. So, Bison Chili. We've done venison chili. I've done elk chili before. You know, of course, you know, beef and pork chili. It's all good. And then I do like a little bit of fat in chili. So bison, I mean, sometimes you do have to add a little bit of fat since it's such a lean meat, but overall it's like really, really good. Chase Claypool is going to be one of the best receivers out of this draft. Changed my mind. He certainly has the upside. He certainly does have all the physical tools. Like, I think he is the biggest athletic freak of any of the receivers in the draft. Like, maybe AGG is up there too. But yeah, I think I like Claypool. I don't like him if the Vikings draft him to be an immediate day one contributor. Like, if they got Laviska Shenault and Claypool, or Denzel Mims and Claypool, or T. Higgins and Claypool, or Jalen Reagor and Claypool, I'd be in. Just betting on that upside. It's like Morris Jerome Betteringer with the talent. It's really weird. Yeah. All right. So next up, Amaya Deshpande. Sorry for going dead air there. I was reading. I know that's great live stream. Do you ever get creative with some naan bread? We do naan pizzas. We do Also really good with Greek food. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So one of my favorite things is kebabs, or I really like kebabs. Lamb, beef, chicken, pork, whatever. And there's just something about like I know I'm just sort of like blending Indian, Pakistani, Middle Eastern food all together, but there's just something great about like a skewered piece of meat grilled on a flame. You got some rice. You got some sort of bread, whether it's naan, whether it's pita, whether it's whatever kind of flatbread, and just like all that together. Maybe a little bit of hummus or baba ganoush. Maybe something creamy like either a yogurt or you go tzatziki, where it's basically a Euro too. There's just something great about that, especially you get like flame roasted onions or peppers or stuff like that. This basically is a food show. Screw the Vikings. Mr. Popo. If the Vikings go to a 3-4, who do you see as the 7 players in those spots as of now? So Vikings went 3-4. So linebackers as of right now in the middle would be Kendricks and Wilson, or Kendricks and Gideon even. Let's see. Outside linebackers would be Hunter and Barr. The 3-4 defensive ends right now would be Fadi and Zettel. And then, of course, the nose tackle would be Michael Pierce. Am I missing anyone, right? Yeah. Johnny Yang Fitness. What are some of your favorite ingredients to cook with? Veggies, seasoning, etc. So, all right. So let's see. Just think about staples. From our ad hoc mise en place. So, we like organic extra virgin olive oil. We also have a lot of peanut oil because if you're gonna stir fry things, olive oil is not the way to go. Low smoke point. So I like peanut oil because it's got a relatively neutral taste. It does have a little bit of nuttiness to it, which is fine. But if you're gonna like use a wok and quickly stir fry vegetables or meat, peanut oil is the way to go. See kosher salt, fresh ground pepper, or if we're doing barbecue, we use 18 mesh pepper. A little bit finer there. See what else here. Fresh garlic, or sometimes if I'm lazy, I just use garlic powder. Like, who cares? Shallot or I know people call it scallions. They're green onions, bitch. Stop trying to be fancy. Use a lot of ginger. Is that you, Rona? All right, so use a lot of ginger. Use a lot of onions and shallots. Use a lot of coriander, actually. And I don't mean coriander like cilantro. I mean like the coriander powder, which is just really good flavor. Let's see that. Favorite to cook thing. All right, so favorite veggies to cook. I really like assortment of cabbages. So cabbage you can just add to soup. It's really good there. Red cabbage, or green cabbage. Make a slaw, like a sweet and sour slaw. It's really good. Napa cabbage. Sometimes we make our own kimchi, so that works there. Bok choy is obviously really good. Hashtag Asian. Seasoning wise, really basic. Salt and pepper. Like I said, coriander, garlic, cumin. There you go. Sauce as well. All right, so soy sauce obviously is great. Ponzu is great. Hoisin sauce too, but I don't like fish sauce as much as other Asians. Like I use it, but very sparingly. Like I know a lot of Asians that'll just like fish sauce, but oyster sauce. Yeah. So you take these dried oysters and add some soy sauce and mix this really nice, sweet, savory, like viscous liquid and or sauce. Yeah, I know it doesn't sound great right away, oyster sauce, but if you're at the store, you can get this in any Asian section of any like decent sized grocery store. So just get a bottle. And just give it a shot. Just add it to stir fries or noodles, or basically add it to everything. Like I add to some barbecue sauces too when we make it. So I would just give oyster sauce a chance. There you go. Harvey Melber. Double dip question. You mentioned your love for El Pollo Loco. As a former California kid, I agree. They're delicious. Absolutely. El Pollo Loco. With those giant ass grills back there, they got all that delicious, moist, just amazing chicken back there. The wings are great. El Pollo Loco. In terms of fast food that doesn't make you feel like shit, El Pollo Loco, certainly up there. Also, what's your must go-to fast food spot in Minnesota? Also, check out Kogi's Barbecue next time in CA. So we'll definitely check out Kogi's Barbecue. Must go fast food spot in Minnesota. All right, so we're talking about like fast food. As weird as it sounds, as much as I don't want to give Wisconsin props, like one of the few things they actually get right is Culvers. In terms of like a fast casual place, I like Culvers burgers. The cheese curds are really great. The custard, the ice cream is really good too. In terms of just like picking out a fast food spot, I mean that's the place that we go to. Trying to think of other places that aren't like national. Oh, what is the Korean fried chicken place that's in the mall? They do like wings and stuff. It's really good. Name escape. All right, now I gotta look it up. Korean fried chicken restaurant. Oh, Banchan. No, is that it? Oh yeah, Banchan. It's like in the mall, and it's just so good. It really is good. T-Rag. What's your favorite Vikings jerseys? Personally, I love the 2002s. So we talked about this. Randall. There's the Vikings uniforms. There we go. I'll just pull up a whole bunch of things. Also, everyone and their mother's got the edits and stuff. But frankly, I didn't mind the Vikings color rushes. I think there were some of the better uniforms of the color rush era. I do like these throwbacks, with the gray face masks and those tops as well. Oh yeah, Jared Allen. I mean, come on, babe, come on. Let's see here. The early Randy Moss era ones are really. I would vote that these are the worst. Like the late aughts, early 2010 unis. I mean, just maybe it's because of T-Jack and Christian Ponder. Maybe they just completely ruined those uniforms for us. Which is completely possible, by the way. Let's see here. Oh yeah. That kit. It's baby. Ooh, baby. Let's see. Randy Moss Vikings uniform. All right, we'll do this real quick. Man, you think this would be easier? Oh yeah, here we go. So I've always just liked the looks of these. I did like the stripe on the sides. There was an edit that someone did. Thielen Diggs Vikings throwback uniforms. That was really great. It was a really good edit. This might be tough to find, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It was someone did a graphic, and it was Diggs and Thielen in those that Randy Moss throwback uniform. It was really great. I can't find it off the top of my head, but there you go. So yeah, the Vikings haven't had a lot of uniform changes, which I actually kind of like. I mean, just think of because just think of what the Bucks are doing. Like the Bucks uniforms, the creamsicle's awesome. I think their first change to the pewter and red was great, but they've just gotten really weird the past couple years. Like remember, the numbers with the digits that look like a digital clock. Get the frig out of here. And also their new uniform ads are gonna suck too. By the way, Ryan O'Sullivan, how can I make my chicken and rice meals that I eat every day for bodybuilding taste better while remaining healthy? I say add herbs. So whether it be cilantro if you like cilantro, or chives is good. Some mint. So chicken rice, mint, some lemon, and a little bit of hummus, or a little bit of like Greek yogurt, a little bit of creaminess, take it to the Middle East. You could do that. See, I like coriander, but that's established. A little bit of ginger, a little bit of fresh ginger, a little bit of fresh garlic in there, a little bit, and also don't underestimate the power of just like some nice like cut up green onions and just sprinkled on top of things. That really gets after it. Depending on your macros, you can toss in a little bit of sesame oil. Oh, I use a lot of sesame oil too. A little bit of sesame oil, a little bit of low sodium soy sauce, a little bit of green onions, and toss that in. As well as, so think about your chicken. Like you don't have to just do blanched or baked chicken. You can put a marinade on there. Toss them on the grill. Also experiment with chicken breasts and chicken thighs. A lot of places do boneless, skinless chicken thighs now. Now it's adjustment in the macros, but relatively negligible. I mean, you still get the protein. It is up with fat, but It's a lot better than just boring old chicken breast. Mason Large. I'll also, like I said, just add lime, like a spritz of fresh lime or lemon. Just don't underestimate that either. Mason Large. Do you think we'll draft Trevon Diggs in the first round? No. Just kidding. Love the channel. Love you, man. Let's see here. Robert Murray. What do you think is the most important position the Vikings need to focus on? Well, if you had to pick one, I would probably say wide receiver. I think wide receiver slightly over cornerback, slightly over offensive line. But overall, it's really close. Roger Evolve Regret. Thoughts on AGG Antonio Gandy Golden? Now, he's a pride of liberty. He is bandied about as Megatron 2.0. He does have insane measurables. He does have some great production against lower level competition. I think I like Chase Claypool better if you're just going to bet on an upside physical freak, but I mean, he does really intrigue me as well in terms of like a small school, big upside guy. I like him overall, but also I'm always enamored by like small school receivers or cornerbacks or tight ends. Like, remember Donald Parham, the pride of Stetson from back in the day? I was all in on him, like 7th round pick one time. In fact, where did he end up? Did he play in the XFL? All right, Donald Parham played for the Dallas Renegades. They're out of Stetson. Yeah, 6'8", 237. Get some. Did he have a mock draftable? Let me look that up. This is what you get on the live stream. Mock draftable Donald Parham. Come on down. All right. Doesn't look like he had a mock draftable one. But yeah, he had some pretty interesting measurables. Come on. But Don Parham played football at Stetson at senior season, 85 catches, 19 yards, and 13 touchdowns. Also, Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert, even though... All right, so I have a Dallas Goedert story here in a sec. Do you even have his measurables in here? Well, he obviously wasn't a combine invite, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, he played for the XFL. So Dallas Goedert, when the Vikings were potentially in need, I look up Goedert. So 2018 draft. Vikings potentially, could be in need for some tight end help. This is before Irv Smith. So Vikings end up going Mike Hughes at 30, and then Dallas Goedert ended up going to the Eagles at 49. If Connor Williams had gotten by the Cowboys at 50, the Vikings were coming up and get him. Don't at me. That means they would have lost out on Brian O'Neill, but So Dallas Goedert, who South Dakota State kid, and so his name Dallas. So that's a knock against him. Apparently, he grew up as a Packers fan, ended up going to the Eagles. So that's like a triple trifecta of meh. But a lot of mock drafts had him mocked to the Vikings at 30, and it didn't happen. And like a relative of it had to be a relative of Dallas Goedert. All of a sudden, just got into the mentions of like every single Vikings beat writer just like cussing up a storm and all this other shit. So it was really hilarious. But yeah, I'm much better off with Irv Smith, even though Goddard's starting to pick things up. Like him and Ertz are okay. Next up, thoughts if we signed Jadeveon Clowney? I don't think it's really worth it at this point. Yeah, Eric Normal. Would it be possible to get Clay Matthews the third in here on a team-friendly deal? What are your thoughts? No, absolutely not. Like there's a short list of Packers that I would accept on this Vikings team. Brett Favre, Ryan Longwell. The guy who wore 42 technically wasn't a Viking ever. The corpse of Greg Jennings, sure. Not Clay Matthews. No. Also, he would want to wear 52. So that just disgraces the legacy of Chad Greenway. So screw Clay Matthews straight to Timbuktu. Who's that dude? Henrik Breilev, $55 in the super chat. Oh, $55 Danish. Good afternoon, Andy. What up from Copenhagen? Which two do you take? Christian Fulton, Josh Jones, Yedder Grossamater, or Denzel Mims? Thanks, bro. Oh, hey, thank you for listening all the way out in Denmark, man. Shout out to Copenhagen. Copenhagen, even though Mike Zimmer is a red man. Even though you think that Skull would come in, I mean, with Mike Zimmer. Of course, that might be a bad look, a head coach with a tobacco deal, but yeah. All right, so choose two: Fulton, Jones, Gross Matos, or Denzel Mims. Wow, that is close. I would pick Jones and Fulton, although it's pretty close. Like I get the upside of Gross Matos. I don't think the Vikings would necessarily go edge first round, but it's close for me. Like I want Josh Jones for sure, but it's really close with Fulton and Mims. Like super close. Great question though. Love you guys. Also, if you want your questions answered in the super chat, in the live chat, pull some in the super chat. Next up, who's that dude? Think the Vikings make a move for Trent Williams? Is being reported they're interested. I would love if they did it. There's a lot of moving parts. We'll see there. Hunter Williams. If I think the Vikings will wait to make one more move before the draft. The Vikings are going to sign Jerome as a 1-year contract. Washington may just have to straight up cut him. Like, they have zero leverage in this spot. They really do. They botched this thing up really badly. So maybe they just be like, you know what, screw it. We're just going to cut bait. Sam Maros. Do you think Brian O'Neill will have a Pro Bowl season? Yes, I do. I think he really is emerging as one of the better right tackles in the league. Do you think the Vikings will have over under 50 sacks this season? Over under 50. Well, how many did they have last year? Let's look that up. PFR 2019 Vikings. Because just adding, so Everson had like 10. Daniil had like 14 and a half. So that's halfway there. Defense? What does it say? Sacks. We'll just have to look on defense. All right. Oh, Everson had 8 sacks. All right, so the Vikings had 48 total sacks last year. Actually, let's look who had. So Daniil 14.5, Afadi 7, Everson 8, Jaleel 3.5, Wilson with 3, Linval with 3, getting after it. Weatherly 3, Armand for Watts. That's right. I'll say over. I think Daniil, especially if he moves to the blind side, I think we'll just get after it. Afadi is going to get his as well. I think he may see more of Anthony Barr rushing the passer too. Also, don't sleep on Anthony Zettel. I don't understand. Oh, some fans can be against him. I really like the heart and hustle he brings to the team. I think he's a great signing at this stage of the game. Neil Thorne. Why did the Vikings put the Cousins anchor around themselves, trying to rebuild, retool, rather than have the cap space? Yeah, that's sort of what I was wondering too. But yeah, if the Vikings were in a full-on rebuild, like, hey, we're just gonna take a bye season. Why extend him? You know, because just imagine this team next year with Cousins coming off the board in terms of cap space, all those draft picks from this year, probably a great draft next year as well, and just a full-on changing the guard. The Vikings are trying to be half pregnant right now, but also maybe they think that building around Kirk Cousins is smart. Is it? I don't know. Absa Abdi, what foods would you use to describe the Vikings offseason as of now, along with their draft picks? Let's see. So everyone's leaving, but there's a big replacement. There's a lot of replacements. So I would say it's it's what? All right. So what is old school? What is old? It's like an old preparation. All right. So if you had your mom's meatloaf or your grandma's meatloaf, and then that was just taken away, something that a little bit old fashioned, a little bit out of date, but was really good, and you have great memories about it. That's the Vikings' old guard. That's the old defense. So the meatloaf gets taken away, and then that's right. Kirk Cousins left in charge, so it's got to be one thing. Pizza Ranch. That's right. Pizza Ranch buffet. So many options that the Vikings have, just like a buffet with 12 draft picks and Kirk Cousins at the helm. So this offseason is your mom's or your grandma's meatloaf taken away. Then you're going to Pizza Ranch. We're going to Sizzler. Shit. Chase Engelke. McDonald's or Burger King, Coke or Pepsi? I'd say McDonald's just because, well, we don't go to McDonald's a lot, but McDonald's breakfast slaps pretty hard. Coke or Pepsi? I'd say Coke, but Coke Zero is pretty much the only thing that we actually do drinks from time to time. The JDM 28. Will we ever see the 2017 team again? In 2042, when they have the 25-year reunion of the Minneapolis Miracle, that's the only time we'll see him. Davis Warrow. Do you see any of the tackles falling far in the draft, like Jawan Taylor from last year? I could see Becton falling. I really could. Where Becton, maybe Wills, maybe teams just straight up overthink Andrew Thomas. Maybe they think like, okay, Wirfs and Wills and Becton, they all have a larger upside than Thomas. So maybe Thomas takes a tumble. But I don't see a tumble like Jawan. Apparently there were some underlying medical issues with Jawan that caused him to fall to the top of the second round last year. But yeah. Micah Bias, are the Vikings going to do one more big splash before the draft? Well, it did feel like they were just sort of waiting to either try and get Thudi and or Trent Williams. But then since it didn't happen, they're like, okay, we'll just sign Tajay Sharp and Anthony Zettel. Sure. Alexander Garcia, Jalen Reagor, or Brandon Ayuk. Wow, that's pretty close. I mean, relatively similar players, but Jalen Reagor at TCU, playmaker waiting to happen. Ayuk reminds me, who does he remind me of? I mean, not Hill, not Tyreek Hill, but Ayuk reminds me of what Tavon Austin was supposed to be, just in terms of this super quick sort of almost like a scat back type receiver. I'm intrigued by their games for sure. I don't think that I know that Ayuk is probably going to go day 2, maybe even early day 2. I don't see him being like the numero uno guy that they take. So like Thielen, BC, Ayuk, Sharp, meh. Vikings fan 107. Should we trade up so we can get a top 3 wide receiver or Andrew Thomas? I mean, if they traded up and got Judy or Lamb, I wouldn't be too upset. If they trade up and got Andrew Thomas, I certainly would not be upset. I think day 1, he's your rock solid set and forget it left tackle. So I wouldn't be upset. Plus, they have the draft capital to do it if they really want to. Torrey Hansen. Where do you get your brisket ribs from, and what do you like to season them with? So brisket and ribs for that matter, just get from Costco. Where, I mean, they have a really good meat selection. Like, also, I mean, you think about big box stores, maybe Costco gets a bad rap, but a lot of things at Costco are high quality or organic. I mean, the brisket you can get USDA Prime at a very good price. Same thing with the ribs. Brisket, I'm super simple. Salt and pepper. Kosher salt, 18 mesh, black pepper, easy peasy. Ribs, so salt and pepper, but also light on the salt since it's a thin piece of meat to begin with, but also you're going to have some shrinkage. I was in the pool on the ribs. So something that a lot of people do is that they'll have too much salt in the rub. And then once those ribs get done, they're super salty, as well as if they put like sauce on top of it. See, ribs, paprika for color, onion powder, garlic powder, light salt, light pepper, sometimes brown sugar, sometimes not. Yeah. Also, for me, on the stupid coriander, just sometimes I'll put coriander in. So sue me. Torrey Hansen. Oh, that was him. Gavin Rothmeyer, what moves are left you think the Vikings should make? Oh, I think they should pick up a veteran cornerback along the same vein of Zettel, of Sharp. You know, someone's going to come in cheap for like a 1-year deal. NRC just went to the Eagles, which is fine. So maybe not Tremaine Johnson. You know, maybe not Logan Ryan. Like maybe. Who did we put in the video the other day? It wasn't Sidney Jones. Oh, Ronald Darby. Coming off injury, or Jason Verrett. Yeah. Sam Kvastad, $2 in the super chat. CJ Henderson or Trevon Diggs? Well, I think it's a pretty easy answer for the Vikings. I think it's pretty clearly CJ Henderson. Alexander Garcia, do you watch the NFL Top 100? And how many Vikings do you think will be on there? I generally only pay attention to it to make fun of it. On the Top 100, I think Cousins will make it on the back end. I think Hunter will be up there. I don't think Thielen will be on there because it's it's real recency bias. So Thielen injured last year. I don't think he's on there. I think Dalvin might make the back end. Harrison may be a quasi legacy pick on the back end, and I think that's going to be it. Cyberbully123. Who would you have on your NFL all felon team? Let's see. I feel like there would be a list on this. Now, is it anyone who's just been arrested, or does it actually have to be a felony? Because it would just be Michael Kendricks. Because that was a felony, right? So this is Bleacher Report, as of 2008, the all-time felon team. There. Todd Marinovich, OJ, memorabilia theft, Lawrence Phillips, oh yeah, Mark Chmura, Michael Irvin, Ray Caruth, yeah. Offensive line, Justin Strelich, after a hit-and-run incident in New York, led police on a 40-mile chase where he flipped them off and threw beer cans at patrol cars. How did I not know the story? Oh, and then he hit it. Then he hit a truck, and then he died. Man, that got dark in a hurry. Victor Riley, Nate Newton. Oh yeah, I remember Nate Newton. Barrett Robbins. Oh yeah, the dude who went AWOL in Tijuana. That's what you get for having a San Diego Super Bowl, man. They're just begging. They're just begging. They're like, how about we have the Super Bowl in El Paso next year? Yeah. No one's gonna cross over into Juarez. Get out of here. Chris Terry. Honorable mentions. Brian McKinney and Todd Stussy. What did Todd Stussy do? D-line, Jim Dunaway, Dexter Manley. Oh, if you have a chance, this is probably on YouTube. Dexter Manley, A Football Life. It's like really grippy. Like, he couldn't read as an adult, and he graduated college. Man, Leonard Little, Mark Gastineau. Oh, linebackers, Hollywood Henderson, and then he won the lottery. Like what? All right, so many things that we just have to look up. Hollywood Henderson lottery. How much did he win? I mean, it's got to be on his Wikipedia page, right? Personal life. Oh, he won 28 million. He won 28 million in the lottery. That's pretty funny. That's good. All right, so Hollywood Henderson, Ray Lewis. Yeah. Lawrence Taylor, secondary Pac-Man. What did Corey Fuller do? Fuller was charged with hosting high-stakes poker games at his house, which is also cited as a shootout in an event. Whatever. Terrence Keel. Eugene Robinson. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was the year the Vikings were supposed to go to the Super Bowl. Eugene Robinson, the Falcons. He was definitely the dirty bird. Special team Sebastian Jankowski, Todd Sauerbrunn, and also Dave Meggett. Yeah, he's in jail, isn't he? Oh, yeah, that's not good. All right, back to the Qs. Coming up an hour here, but we're just going to get through the questions. Also, we're going to do a turbo mock draft. Do you think Andre Patterson can turn Anthony Zettel into Everson Griffin 2.0? No, but I think he could become a very valuable rotational piece for sure. Harvey Melber. Have you ever ran to current past Vikings players, coaches while at grocery shopping or at a local restaurant? If so, where was it, and what's the best thing to order or buy from there? Well, I've seen Tommy Kramer at the bar a lot. I've seen Mike Tice at Bunny's in St. Louis Park. That's a great bar out there. Since it's not Mankato anymore, but you'd see former Vikings and current Vikings at there all the time. I'm trying to think. Oh, I saw Thielen at Saints game once. He just he looked like every other Minnesota bro with a beard and a backwards baseball cap, just enjoying a craft beer at a Saints game. That's what happens. Let's see what else. Well, besides like media access stuff, which I don't think counts. Just like seeing in public. Kendricks came in a Blue Door Pub one day and got wings. He was there. Let's see who else. Oh. I have a Harrison Smith story I don't think I can tell. But that was a fun night. I think that might be about... Oh, I saw Brian McKinney at a McDonald's once. That was very on brand. Yeah, that's probably about it. Oh, I've seen Alan Page do a couple speaking engagements. I don't think that counts either. Micah Bias. What's your go-to meal when cooking and fast food? Well, if we're just it's just like us, sometimes we'll just throw together a salad. The wife enjoys salads. I'll generally just take the meat. I don't know, put some eggs and some rice or something. That's pretty easy. Or like Asian, yeah. Shocker. Fast food. If we're gonna do fast food, we generally go to like Culvers or Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Spencer Vox. Are you a salt and pepper on everything guy? Yeah. Almost like too much. Like in like a very aggressive amount of black pepper. Like I fully understand why jabronis tried to sail around the world for like a bag of peppercorns or like a couple of cloves. Like I get it. Spices are amazing. Bricktop. Since none of the Vikings wide receivers are really considered speed guys, how do you feel about KJ Hamler if they could pick him on second, thirds, double up receivers in the draft? Yeah, I mean, just going after speed in this draft in terms of wide receivers. That's why if they go Ruggs, I'm not offended. If they go Mims, I'm certainly not offended either. HuskGamer15. Do you say Twizzlers or Red Vines? Neither. Not really a licorice fan. Also, do you think pineapple belongs in pizzas? I say whatever you want belongs on pizza. It's your pizza, man. It's your world, babe. Best Korean food. Mine's bulgogi. I love bulgogi. I like kimchi pancakes. Really good too. But just overall, like the bulgogi or what's the japchae, like the noodles dish. That's really good. Or the I'm trying to think. I mean, how can you go wrong with like sweet barbecued meat in thin strips? It's really good. Or galbi is really good too. Yeah. Diego said, "How long are Tajay Sharp and Anthony Zettel staying here in Minnesota? What are the deals?" I believe they're both 1-year deals, both minimal amounts. Eric Normal, do you think the Vikings will get a full season out of Adam Thielen? Yep, because they'll need to. Jacob Sly, best pizza chain. Best chain pizza, Domino's Pizza, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, except I grew up with Pizza Hut, so it's a little bit more like, what's it called? Nostalgia. There you go. Best frozen pizza. All right, so best frozen pizza for me, I mean, Minnesota, Haggis, got to do it. Helis Latza Matza, I mean, that's certainly very good as well in terms of like the higher end frozen pizzas. In terms of some of the more lower ends, just because of college, I just like Jack's, and you can still get them for like $1.99 sometimes. I mean, that just does take you back to college, just like after a long night of drinking, just throwing in a Jack's pizza. It's really good. Or Red Baron, it's also really good too. Trey Stallings, what do you think about Yetur Gross-Matos? He is an absolute beast. Would be a nice pickup. Skull. I agree he's a beast. I don't think that the Vikings necessarily go edge early, but also if they did, I would sort of understand it. But also, Matos, besides Chase Young, who I don't even put on the radar because he'll be long gone. But in terms of like edge guys, I do like Chase in a little bit better. I think he does have a higher upside for sure. And yeah, I put Matos and Espinoza about on par. Both the Big Ten guys. Vikings fan 107. Do you think we should still draft a receiver in the first or get tackle and cornerback, or should we draft 2 tackles? Again, I think it all factors in how the board's going to be. But if they were just going to skip a position that they think they could recoup value on later on, it would be wide receiver and or cornerback. Robert Griffin, best kind of wings. All right, so we mentioned this yesterday. Smoked, and then butter, hot sauce, a little bit of that dry ranch seasoning. Or I've been trying to chase this dragon for so many years because back in my college town, there was a place that did a Midwest Cajun rub where I haven't been able to replicate it. And it's been sort of bugging me. I think the key is the oregano, but we'll get back to that. But yeah, I actually prefer dry rub wings as opposed to like a lot of the sauces that are out there. Do you prefer charcoal or propane grill? What's your favorite thing to grill? Well, I generally use our Traeger pellet grill smoker to grill at times because you can crank that thing up to 450. So we'll do burgers on that a lot. The only thing it doesn't do well is sear, so we won't do steaks on there. For that, I do like propane. There's just something about like having immediate, even heat. So for steaks, we'll put them on the grill, a propane grill. A charcoal, like sometimes I'll I'll do charcoal, like if we got an afternoon to kill, and then I'll do like chicken or beef or pork skewers over charcoal. There's some about charcoal meat so close to that. There's just something just really great about it. Maybe that's my Asianness, because I always make sure it's a very small charcoal hibachi. I have to squat down in my flip flops and just like turn them like that. So I'm like a Vietnamese street vendor. So it's good. Mason Large. How much do you think we would pay Trent Williams if we acquired him in trade? $16 million. Alexander Garcia, do you think it's possible to resign Josh Klein for cheaper? No. Alexander Garcia, I lost $7,000 on the Super Bowl. It's a bad beat. Alex Clinton, the King or Chick Hicks? Is that a movie reference? Oh, wait, no. This is from Cars. Yeah, I should know this because my daughter actually loves movie Cars. The King, because Chick Hicks, go F himself. Next up is LM. With moving to a 3-4, do you think the Vikings draft a linebacker? With the right pick, he could be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, well, in our mock draft today, Patrick Queen just somehow fell to the Vikings. And if they are moving to a 3-4, I would take him. I mean, that would be really great value, as well as the Oklahoma linebacker. Name escapes me. Chicken Wings face off, BWW or Wingstop. Wingstop. Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, it's fine for a national chain, but I think they are pretty overrated. Wingstop is great. There's a place here in the northern burbs called Wing Joint, which is really, really good. They're also the Muddy Chicken in Burnsville. They do great wings as well. They have like a dill pickle rub, which is just like phenomenal. It's really good. But also for me, forgetting to mention this, like the lightly breaded wing. Now, I'm not talking about like full on like breading like a fried chicken or thick breading like you get at like a Hooters or something, but just like lightly breaded chicken wings. And if you go to like Asian takeout places, I mean, they're great at it because they all get them from the same like Dragon Trucking Company, because it's like Dragon Foods or something like that. The semi trucks with the red and orange dragon on the side. You'll notice that they supply every single Chinese restaurant. That's why, in general, the quality of food across the board from just like hole in the wall Chinese places, relatively similar because they have similar products, right? But so those chicken wings come frozen, and I've actually tried to buy them wholesale. Don't at me. But they just get it right. Just like the light breading. It's just really good. So let's see what else here. This is a chicken wing show, by the way. Micah Bias, not sure if we'd answer this yet, but how do you grade the Vikings offseason move so far? If they have a great draft, it could be an A. Could easily be an A. I think right now I'll give it a B+. Like, it's a lot of moves that had to happen, and I like that they acquired a lot of draft capital. I think the Diggs relationship was unrepairable, so they got what they could get, and they got a lot. So I'm happy about that. Kyle O'Connor. What former Viking are a closet fan of? For me, it's Tavares Jackson. Let's see here. Does Percy Harvin count? I mean, he would, right? Or just random former Viking. I was like Larry Dean. Pride of Valdosta State. Middle linebacker, numero 51, playing special teams. I liked him. Hunter Williams, Skull from Coon Rapids, Skull up north. Do you think we should get Xavier Rhodes back or just draft a younger kid? Now, draft a young kid. Ted Vick, AGG one time. Agree. Head coach, hard hitter, Anton Winfield or Sendejo. Harder hitter, Winfield or Sendejo. I would say Sendejo, but Winfield was the feistier player. Better backup, Chester Taylor or Madison. I would say Chester Taylor. Chester Taylor was a 1,000-yard rusher, man. Was also a great receiver, too. Better overall play, Favre to Greg Lewis or Keenum to Diggs. Keenum to Diggs just because of the stakes. I mean, Favre to Lewis was like a week 7 game or something like that. Also, they blew a 14-point lead at home. Well, I guess in Minneapolis Miracle, they blew a 17-point lead at home, so maybe whatever. Better fullback, Kleinstesser or CJ Ham. CJ, I love you, but come on. Number 5, better run cloggers, Williams Wall or Joseph Sheldon. Williams Wall, by far. Hunter Williams, have you been to a Vikings game? Yeah, but not lately since this channel started taking off because we like being in the lab, in the studio, doing things. Gavin Rothmeiler, what food do you cook best and what do you barbecue or smoke the best? Let's see. Food cooked the best. I don't know. Like, I don't consider myself like really good at anything. Like, there isn't like a specialty, but I can cook a lot of things okay. Barbecuing meat. I like doing a brisket, but it takes forever. It does take like 13 hours. I like doing ribs. Pulled pork is really good because it's really foolproof. It really is. Even though that takes 8 to 10 hours too. But yeah, I would probably say pulled pork. Hudson Jewell. What are possible trade ideas do you think the Vikings could do to move up? Maybe get Isaiah Simmons at 7. Ooh. Or CD Lamb or Judy and Silverborn 16 to go get him. Simmons would be interesting, especially if the Vikings are moving to a multiple front. Simmons. Chase Young fell? Nah, just kidding. Simmons, Judy, and Lamb for sure. If one of the preferred tackles starts falling, definitely. If CJ Henderson falls, I don't expect Okudah to fall, but if Henderson starts falling into the teens, starts getting pretty sporty. Yeah. Cyberbully 123. SoCal food truck, Mexican food, or Kansas City barbecue. I would pick the barbecue, even though like SoCal like tacos are just amazing. But I'll pick Kansas City barbecue mainly because of the burnt ends. That contribution, just amazing. Go-to meal in a hurry: meat and cheese. How will the defense turn out for a 3-4 defense? How will our defense turn out for a 3-4 defense? I think a lot of the pieces are actually in place. I mean, Michael Pierce is more at home in a 3-4 at nose. I think Kendricks would be a great 3-4 inside linebacker. Barr could be back on the edge. Some people are concerned about Daniil dropping the coverage. A, it won't happen that frequently, as well as B, he's a physical freak. Go look at his agility numbers. Like I would almost trust Daniil dropping coverage more than I would Barr after a little bit of time. So I think they'd be okay if they do go that far. Ahmed Deshpande, all these draft analysts have us going edge early. Oh, are we overly optimistic about Afadio? No, I just think national media people just don't know. They just really don't know. Foreign Savage. Let's see, 2 more. Do they have mainland China in the U.S. is the best Chinese restaurant in India? I've not heard of that chain, so probably not. Robert Griffin, do you like orange juice? Not really. All right. Long orange juice story. So, pretty short. When I was adopted, I was 9 months old. And coming over here, oh, by the way, you used to be able to smoke on planes. So I'm pretty sure they were smoking on that plane all the way from Korea to the great United States of America. So there's probably smoking on that plane. And at 9 months old, like traveling with a baby, whatever, they just gave me this giant glass of orange juice, right, in like a sippy cup. And I remember I got a rash from it, I don't remember, but the way that the story's been relayed to me, like I got a bellyache and I got a rash from it. So ever since that day, as far as back as I can remember, as a kid, as an adult, I haven't really cared for orange juice. And maybe it does go back to that incident. Maybe that just burned in my subconscious, where I was on this long ass flight with a giant rash because there's force feeding me this acid juice with sugar in it. Maybe that was it. I do like Sunday Delight, though. So maybe that theory's out the window. There you go. All right, so went a little bit of overtime on the... no, F it. We're doing the mock draft. F it. We'll do it live. Since friends over at the Draft Network, these things go so fast, so it's great. So this one, Justin Herbert fell again. Mama, what's going on? Looking at the big board. All right, Jefferson is there. Let's look at the tackles. Jones, Cleveland. I really like Cleveland. I really do. Jefferson, Mims. I like Jefferson. I think he's like strictly a slot guy, though. How does that mesh with Thielen? Yeah. I like Mims. I like Higgins. I like Reagor. I like Chenault for sure. Cornerback-wise, Diggs there. I really love Jalen Johnson. I really do. He's really shooting up the board for me. So what do you do at this spot? Well, I don't want to lose one of the big 6 tackles, so I'm going to go... Patrick Queen is still here chilling, by the way. Kenneth Murray is both on board. Just mocking us. Jordan Love and Justin Herbert there just making fun of us. All right, so going Josh Jones at 25. All right, so Gross Matos is still there. Zach Bond is still there. Gallimore is up there. Blacklock. All right, so at this point, I think you can wait on Jalen. I think he makes it to round 2. I'm going to go with Mims. So big physical upside, as well as your left tackle of the future. Oh, I only did 1 round? Screw you guys. Now we're going to run this back. Now we're going to run 7 rounds. We're going to extra overtime. So I love you guys. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe Patrick Queen will fall again. Dun, 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 dun. I've never seen a simulation where Burrow doesn't go 1. I just want to see it happen one time where he doesn't go 1, just for chaos. Because the draft needs to be weird. It does. All right, so this one, Love is gone. Herbert went. Makes more sense. Still going to go with Josh Jones. Screw you guys. Back on the clock again. So, Espineza, Gross Matos, still on board. Mims is gone. Reagor's still there. Laviska's still there. They went way heavier on wide receivers in this one. So Mims is gone. Jefferson is gone. Ruggs, Lamb, CD is gone. T. Higgins went after we picked. So I mean, Reagor, Chenault, I ain't mad at you either way. Hamler too. There you go. So you got Percy Harvin and you got the left tackle of the future. I mean, how can you go wrong? There you go. Now definitely looking at quarterback. Make it one time. Oh, there went Jalen. Oh, it hurts. It hurts me so bad. I like Dantzler. And again, I'm not a metric snob, but he is a touch slow for my taste. I think he could get exposed in the NFL. So I'm going Bryce Hall, who I have a little bit of a crush on, not gonna lie. Like Bryce Hall, Jalen Johnson, in terms of like second round cornerbacks, I really like those two. I mean, 2 years ago, you could say that Bryce Hall was the best cornerback in college football. And he's coming off of injury, so that could be insane value for the Vikings there. All right, so big board time. Hurts is still there. I mean, do we just go with it? I mean, Rashad Lawrence is there. Claypool is there, just making fun of us too. Yeah, I'm idiot. Screw you guys. I'm having fun. So we got Claypool, physical, insane outside guy. We got Laviska Shenault, Percy Harvin 2.0. We got Bryce Hall is going to probably be starting day 1 for the Vikings. And you know what? Screw everyone. I was going to take Jalen Hurts right there, but I mean, let's try and be a little bit more judicious. Defensive line, Nicola Davis, sure. Biadish. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Taking Biadish in the 3rd round. Can play center, can play guard. I think it's a nice little pickup for the Vikes there. I mean, could have worked his way into the starting lineup eventually. Just another one of those annoyingly solid meat potatoes Wisconsin offensive linemen. Now should we get a little bit nuts? They don't even have Bellamy on their big board, which hurts my heart. That's okay. I mean, should we go nuts? Should we just take a running back here? Round 4. Screw everyone. Let's see, McFarland. Oh, Brandon Jones is there. Okay. Already double back on offensive line and wide receiver. Is it time to go cornerback? I think you could wait. Probably wait. Actually, you know what? Here we go. Booger. Let's go. Anthony McFarland 2. Let's get weird. Let's get weird tonight. You can be my... All right. Let's hear. On the big board, so Temple corners there. State safety. Jake Reed's kid. Yeah, I probably should take some defensive linemen. Yeah, edge guys. I mean, once you get away from the top end edge guys, it gets a little sparse. It gets a little Spartan up in there. Yeah, I'm not. All right. All right, safety. All right, we're going Jake Reed's kid. Come on down. Could have went Geno Stone. Could have went Antoine Brooks Jr. I mean, lots of options there, but of course we're going the full nepotism team. There goes James Lynch. It hurts. Hurts me. See Roquan, the other Davis brothers there. As we just let this thing go. Should I just... AGG made it. You know what? Screw you guys. Screw you guys. So we got both of the insane physical upside wide receivers, Claypool and AGG. Plus we get Chenault. Bring it on. Everybody bring it. Everyone suck it. All right, so now I think we actually need to address the defensive line with all these late picks. Whatever. I'll take the Syracuse edge again. All right, so top pick of the 7th round. There we go. Check, check, check. All the boxes. Oh, they took Lavert Hill right before us. Oh, well. All right, so another corner. Edge. There you go. And Mazel Tov. There you go. So, I mean, this one, since we were just shooting from the hip, was actually still a lot of fun. So, Josh Jones, left tackle of the future. Laviska Shenault, the do-it-all Swiss Army knife of the offense. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Bryce Hall, cornerback, coming in, starting day one out of Virginia. And then, like we said, we got Claypool and AGG. Come on. We got Anthony McFarland as a running back in the 4th. We got Jake Reed's kid coming in at safety. Tyler Biadish, versatile interior offensive lineman, could play backup center, could play some guard down the line. Don't mind that pick at all. Kendall Coleman coming out of Syracuse. Robert Windsor from Penn State. The Florida State cornerback, and then we just sort of filled it out. There you go. So that is it. That is the noon live stream. Usually go an hour, went an hour and a half. It's all good. Thank you guys very much, everyone who watched live. Also, thank you, everyone who came along for replay as well. We'll be back here on Friday. Close this week out in style at noon Central Time tomorrow. Also, if you want to support the channel, hit that join box down below. A couple bucks a month. You can become a monthly or platinum Jerome. Get some access to exclusive content, as well as get that nice little purple check mark. We got Julian Marker, Matt Sturbate, which is such a great screen name. All up in the chat. They got the marks. All right, so we're out. Heart you guys. Skull, production value.